Welcome to the stream. That has to be the most hyped I've ever been in a long time. Which is weird because I almost feel like I'm dead. And I guess it goes to show like how streaming can take its toll on you. I don't know. Usually wait for a little while. I have really nothing to say at the moment. It's the same version of that song, but for 10 minutes. Luckily, it's not for 10 hours. Otherwise, we'd be losing our ship. Alright, I guess let's get the stream started. How usual, a Fortnite. What is this? As by V-Bucks. Yeah, let's not do that. Well, not yet, anyways. They have new like Twitch Prime skin, so that's pretty cool. There's a new podcast up, so I'll put that on. Oh, looks nice.
Alright. Sure, I'd love to. I'd love to start you guys off with a scary story.
Oh, no.
It all started.
Bring us into the pod.
Oh my god, what's
that?
that?
Was like, you son of a bitch.
Gotta start all over.
Wait, just put the one I'm gonna make it look fucking scary. Ooh, one more.
What do you want?
I think I repositioned like the.
Nope. Just the hair
Like
lights.
I moved it a little bit, like the angle of the camera.
There it isn't.
I don't know how better that would be.
I can control
Let's
the
see.
lights now. We got a bunch of new lights. How cool is that?
The color.
Wow.
Every day is Christmas
Like
ever
I
since we
had
got
someone
bought out.
Dude, we're spending like a good $500,000 a day.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Welcome,
You know Dan
fun.
Bilzerian?
Yeah.
He's got nothing
No,
on
he's
us,
here.
baby.
Love his Instagram.
He's here. He's in Las Vegas today.
No way.
Yeah.
We're in Las Vegas?
Yeah, we're in the Palace
Play
of
with more
Caesar.
people.
Why is he in Las Vegas?
Oh, he's fucking every girl.
No, he has a girlfriend now. Didn't you hear?
No.
He has a girlfriend.
She's
He's
also fucking every girl.
No, have you seen the Instagram?
No, who's
He's
she?
in a steady relationship now. Dan Bilzerian is.
With who?
I don't remember her name.
I bet you the viewers don't like that too much.
Why?
Because they wanted to see him fucking suck and get it off.
He hasn't
baby.
changed his Instagram much. I'm sure that he's very faithful, but he keeps his Instagram on
Let's see.
brand.
I'm not sure that he's faithful.
Oh, he's grabbing butts.
Oh, that's not faithful.
He's stuck an ass.
You don't know the relationship he has with his significant other. Maybe they have an
Is he
open
beating
relationship.
and eating ass that isn't his?
I think he's beating and eating ass that isn't his. You know?
Welcome back to
I don't-
episode. What episode is it?
37.
37.
Up beyond the pine.
And this podcast is brought to you by.
Vincero, Burrow, and Dollar Shave Club.
Oh.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you for
sponsoring our podcast.
Thank you so much to Burrow for sponsoring the podcast. Burrow has reinvented the luxury couch. From style to shipping, functionality to adaptability,
It's-
Burrow's put the time and thought into furniture buying, so you don't have to.
Going online
You
right
can
now. but-
customize your Burrow
Hopefully
sofa to
this-
fit your personality by selecting the color, size, and armrest height that's perfect for you. It's engineered to be super comfortable. It's easy to move, as you can tell from the boys back there. So easy to move. Burrow assembles and disassembles in just minutes with no
See.
tools required. So when it
Minutes.
comes to time to move, Burrow gives you
Oh,
one less
yeah.
thing to worry about.
I don't know if he's
The
online
couch
or
you
not,
have
but
now is obviously bulky,
It's just
skinny,
offline.
out of style, shredded
It
by
kinda
pets
sucks,
and
but
having to move.
it's-
Just,
it's
not
whatever.
you. Let's do a reality check here. The couch you should have is stylish, comfortable, durable, and you can customize it just for you. Burrow is a luxury
I always
couch
hate like
for real life. It's no wonder it's internet's favorite couch.
that
They've
whole
truly
swiping thing
reinvented
to
the
get better
shopping
in the app.
experience. So
And
go
you're like,
online or to one of their showrooms
you
near you.
recently used.
The damn
Or-
thing's affordable. It's
I
the
don't know
same
how to
quality you
explain it,
expect
but
from a
it's just-
high-end retailer without breaking the bank. All Burrow furniture is shipped fast and shipping is free. Setup is super easy, as is moving again. Burrow is adaptable, so if your space changes, their modular design allows to move and grow with you. With stain-resistant fabric that can take on your pet's claws and built-in USB chargers, Burrow has the durability and functionality to keep up with your hectic life. Enjoy 30 days of cozy on your Burrow, risk-free, or try Burrow at one of their showrooms today.
I wish I
Go
had like
customize
the
your own Burrow and
orange
get
Justice
$75
hoodie.
off your order by visiting
I really want that shit.
burrow.com/pine. That's BURRO.com.
I gotta get those fucking
pine for $75 off your purchase. Burrow
what's it
makes
called?
the luxury couch for real life. Burrow makes the luxury couch for real life. That was what they said. I just wanted
I
to
lost
read
my
it.
train of thought
You
again.
needed to get that message across. I understand.
Thank you, Burrow.
I always lose my
Notes.
train of thought.
Visit burrow.com for $75 off your purchase. Burrow makes luxury couch for real life. Repeat that. You.
Anyways.
So much, Burrow. Now to continue with our regular scheduled podcast.
Is that your first podcast or sponsor read?
Like the sixth.
Sixth?
Is that your first
Really?
podcast?
Probably the fourth.
Is this your first podcast?
This is
first
my
time
first
reading?
podcast.
What was the first podcast you have ever done in your entire life?
Probably my own.
Just you talked with yourself?
No, it was me and Will Barlow.
Really?
Yeah.
That
Or
was
no,
the
maybe
first
Carboys.
one.
No, it was
Carboys.
me and Kissing Kate Barlow.
You
Him
kissed
kissing Kate Barlow,
Uh-huh.
you, me in a car, Ryan Danianier,
Is there no
and Jimmy
trust here?
Stars.
Was it you and me?
It's Carboys,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow, so we're in together forever. That's crazy.
To the
Was the first podcast you ever did the fake podcast that we did at SourceFed?
Yep.
Keep on
Cool.
mistaking
Was
my
it the
A
fake
for
podcast,
X.
where at the end of the day, when everything was getting like
No,
put
it was
away.
before the podcast.
Oh, it was before the real
Because I
podcast.
was setting up the podcast at SourceFed, and Steve was sitting on the set doing anything and everything.
Played with his claws, feet.
And then so
Gotta stop
we would
jumping.
just sit there on the set, and we would just be like, and now back to the podcast
Oh, yeah.
where we talk about all
Fucking
things
hell.
guys. You've got them, I've got them, everybody doesn't.
Sometimes it's hard to get used to controls.
And this, I remember one time you were like, this episode's sponsored by Wallbag.
This episode is sponsored by the carpetbagger I fucking found in the side of a roof.
Oof,
next episode
baby.
is sponsored by Cheesecloth.
This next episode is
One
sponsored by
cheesecloth.
Leaves. All the Leaves.
Okay, what? Is Thanos here?
So that's what we would do.
Hold up.
Millions of
It's a
views.
neural network of money.
We always thought it would take off, and then it turned into SB7.
This,
Turns out it
how
didn't.
did this guy
So
wreck
boys.
my shit?
I want to ask you if you've even seen this. I know
What?
I'm a big Crystalia fan, but did you see the Logan Paul Crystalia drama?
No.
Yep.
It was brief
Hilarious.
and it was hilarious.
Sky Williams did a tweet.
Ooh.
It was about-
Really?
Logan Paul
He-
beefed on Crystalia.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll get to that, but
Sort
real
of.
quick,
Both.
Sky Williams' fucking thing where he like just records the screen and
Oh, I love
comments on
him.
it is
Oh, yeah.
so fucking
So
funny.
funny.
But go ahead, tell the story.
So, Logan Paul tweets out, "No more daily Logan Paul videos. This is a serious video, and it's important you watch." And then he made it seem like he was gonna quit, and then Chris Leo replies, "No, it's not." Like quote tweet,
Yeah,
"No,
quote
it's
tweet.
not important to watch." And then he's like, I forget what he said. It was
I
like,
didn't know how
oh,
to
oh,
do like my shit,
Logan
man.
Paul- your career
it had
being
like
dead.
100 of those.
How'd that
like,
tower
yeah,
fare
faces,
in
and he's
Square?
like, well, when your comedy career dies or something like that.
Yeah, he said something about his
Something really
comedy career
stupid.
dying, and then he quote tweeted that, and he's like, "Well, at least if my comedy career dies, you can film it and put it on YouTube." The best dude,
And then
that's so
tweet-
good in
yeah.
the world.
And
Then
then
most
this
of
is how
these
Logan
on
Paul
the-
responded to
He's
that.
such a fucking
It was
cunt.
so funny. Like I was like, "Are you serious right now? Like trying to like have any sympathy?" He quote retweets it. He's like, "No, because filming people that have died or committed suicide is wrong, and I know that now."
Yeah, and I know that
didn't
now.
know
Dude,
that
that's so
before.
Then he also said something about your Netflix specials. He said this tweet was funnier than your Netflix specials, and then it just wasn't.
But
It wasn't
But it's
funny.
also like making fun of a dude for having Netflix.
I know that's what I
specials?
thought. I was like, Netflix. I think he said Netflix special, and I was like,
comedian, that's like-
specials.
I mean, for
and they
anyone,
were
that's
hilarious.
like, wow, that dude's doing well.
Like, imagine, like, and
Is
some
it
of
a
those
chest
comebacks
here?
where it's like, "Oh yeah, well, you're
Nah.
not even fucking funny."
well, no, it's
You
not
know,
even.
movies
It's like, yeah, but you're really handsome and everyone likes you a whole lot.
Just because you're handsome, you're kind of stupid too.
yeah.
If Logan
you
Paul
must
walked
have-
in here right now, he'd beat your ass.
I
Did
beat
you
his
know-
ass. I did MMA.
Did you guys know that Logan Paul's only 23?
Yeah,
28?
23.
That
34?
I could not believe that he was only 23.
Yeah, he looks 40.
He's younger than me.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
oh
thought
my
that he was
God.
like at least like 27
It's
or
so
something.
weird to
Have you
think
guys
I'm
seen
getting
his
older.
forehead? Have you guys seen his
I
forehead?
have. I
The
hate.
one that's up
Ah
here.
man,
I
it's
can-
going out
his
his
long hair, and then when
fucking
the
around
wind blows,
the-
it's up here.
I have a hard time because like
No
mine's
waiting room.
receding, so I'm like,
Not even
I don't want that to be a point
No.
of like mocking him.
The
But
funny
like,
thing is that's all
he hides
about-
it
It's a
so
point
much.
just because I hate Logan Paul. I would
Yeah.
never normally point that
And
out on
also,
anyone, but
it's
fuck
one of
Logan
those
Paul.
things where you always have a different perspective of how you
Yeah.
look versus how
Yeah.
other people look.
Yours is
Because when I look at
entirely
you, I
different.
think that you're 100% proportional and gorgeous.
well, like his thing
Now
is
tell me
that he's
something about me.
hiding it.
Yeah, he's got the hair
Ooh,
that goes
baby,
down
that's
the wind blows.
a
Yeah.
good.
When the wind blows,
That's a
You
good
have
start.
proportions?
Do you eat in portions?
Yeah.
Clearly not.
Clearly, oddly. You know?
I also want to talk about your 4 a.m. cake visits.
what are you doing with
Dude. Well,
Should definitely help.
I'm a follower of that dude. He's got a series. He
Where's
does
the
every day.
gauntlet?
it's almost every day because
It's called Eating Cake with Steve at Night with Comedians.
What?
Can you review a red velvet cake right now, please?
well, so I got this cake from Susie Cakes because I was at home and I just wanted to order, Postmates, and I saw that
Ordered a cake.
I saw that
from
Susie
entire
Cakes
fucking
Susie
cake.
Cakes delivers. Now I could have gotten cupcakes, but I was in the mood for a cake, and I thought, what cake could I get? Because they have a lemon.
Fucking
cake.
bitch, dude. I had that.
Cake that you could
It's
possibly.
amazing.
I swear to God, it's the best cake I've
I
ever
had
had.
that. That was
Cream
dead
cheese frosting.
on.
Cream cheese frosting. Sammy
What
Joe
the
got me that on my
fuck?
birthday. It's the best.
You are?
Do you smell that?
So I ordered the red.
I
velvet
got
cake
too early
from
deaths, and
Postmates
that never really
and I
happens
had a little
every
teensy
time I
bite
do
of it. I ordered a
this
6-inch
stream.
cake, and it's it's about yay big.
That's too big
It's
though.
like
6 inches.
And
Too big
I
for one man.
I texted Alyssa because I was really happy about I was like, she was in Coachella. I was like, you're gonna come home to a nice cake. By the time she got home, there was half a piece left.
wait. I
And
got some
I had eaten it. It
little
was like
awkward.
over the course of a weekend.
Didn't you have like
After
these
that
ones?
fiasco?
Yes, and that's the thing. Red dye gives you squirts.
Yeah.
I
Red
had
dye
no
number
idea.
4 is really bad for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you
Oh.
want? Do you want to have
What
that
the-
beef?
no,
Let's
I
hash that
don't
beef
want to have
out.
beef. I just
Let's hash
I
it
just think
out.
it's funny,
You
the
could
exact
give it
number
a
of red
heart.
dye that.
It's
Well, that's like a
it's
thing.
common knowledge.
That's a
Red
thing.
dye number 4.
Yeah, my
The
nephews
ace of
have to,
spades,
strictly
baby.
Avoid it.
Wow.
Literally.
Because people have allergies to it, and it's just I think it's really bad. For
It doesn't make me feel good.
Dextrose.
They get like really overwhelmed if they have it. Like they can't like function properly because their sensory stuff is like overloaded.
That's how I have
So-
Taco
with their
Bell.
brain.
So I
What?
ordered a.
Can't read
soft
that.
cake, because I had finished it, and then I
Apparently
ordered
I
a
got
9-inch
like
The Instagram last night,
screwed
so we've
over.
been filming it and putting music on, and last night it was like a song that was like one more time.
Did you see that when I did that?
Yeah, no one's online right now.
So you know how my night's going.
Dude,
down.
I'm a huge fan of that series.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of you.
I'm looking forward to the next episode.
It'll be tonight because I get really hungry on the ride home, and then I look forward to cake because I've eaten salty food all day.
Do you guys eat super late by accident?
Yes.
Not
Oops,
anymore.
by accident on purpose?
I've eaten an
I need to
entire
fix
Chinese
that.
buffet.
I definitely used to so fucking much and it killed me.
Dude, it's
I,
fucking me. I have
it
like
fucks you
weird.
up.
I wake up like jittery.
Yeah,
it does
your
is
body
that-
panics.
Let's try it
and stuff.
again.
Yeah, your body because
I don't know why it
sleeping, it
disconnected.
doesn't digest
Break-
as if
break
you're
down.
normally being active and shit. It's just like sitting in there, and then
it's
you
all
wake
mental.
up,
You have weird fucking dreams.
weird dreams, and you wake up and like you just feel heavy, and you have like
Yeah,
bad
it's
sweaty
I
shit.
didn't know
I
I
retain
told
so
you
much
last night.
water.
Yeah, and that's well, they're really active. Your brain's using. It
Yeah.
can't use that fuel physically, so it just immediately takes it all mentally. And
I
you
have fucking
dream.
psychedelic god dreams.
I suck a lot of dog dreams.
I have a suck a lot of dog in my dreams.
I just suck a lot of dogs off in my dream last night.
I felt it. I felt it happening.
To make it
Like,
through
here
the
comes.
rainbow.
There's 2 words in there that he'll connect.
There's a pot of gold that went into the rainbow, and there's a dog that needs to get sucked off on the other end.
Yep.
And I got them both.
Shoot the bus down.
So what I did was I
Oh,
put
wait,
two-
shit. I did shoot
Denied
the
him,
bus
I
down.
sucked him and fucked him. Didn't get the pot of gold.
I don't know
turned
why
into 2 people,
other
and
people
one of those
hang around the
people
edge
the
like
dog.
I did.
Dude, this
Like,
has
in
lost
those
me.
other streams.
I'm learning nothing.
much right now.
Like,
I've been lost over the
processing
course of
none of
this.
it.
I couldn't
y'all
even
not,
Side of the table is
y'all
something
must be
I
that
process.
thirsty, huh?
Clarice.
Oh my god. What? So
Wait a minute.
No, we don't need the impression.
Multiple MIGs in the other room. He hissed at you. What
is
did he
this?
say? He said, I could smell your cunt.
What the fuck is that from?
I, for one, cannot.
I feel uncomfortable.
It's from Silence of the Lambs,
I haven't
dude.
seen it.
Oh my god, it's the best movie.
It's from Dancing with Lambs, dude.
I love Dancing
Dancing with
Wolves.
Lambs.
I said it's alright.
Can
What the
Silence of the
fuck?
Lambs count as a horror? Because last week I said that.
People do that.
Technically, I think it is a horror, even though it's a
So,
psychological thriller.
1 Alien,
but-
2 Silence of the Lambs.
But did you know that Silence of the Lambs is the only? And I don't consider it a horror, but it is, I think, considered kind of a horror. It's the only horror to ever win the Big Five at the Oscars.
Wow.
Or like anything.
I mean, horrors never get acknowledged at
No,
the
except for Get
Oscars.
Out.
Yeah, that was fucking cool. Just for the sake that it was a horror, that
Yeah.
was really exciting.
Mhm.
Aside from like social stuff. But that
Aside
was,
from social stuff, which makes it a shitty movie.
yeah, like, what?
But were you about to
Yeah, just
ask what
nothing
we're
to
watching
do.
this week and
yeah,
what
what are
cool
you guys
stuff?
into? What's
Well, I recommended it to
about
James,
this
and I
purple?
want to recommend it to all you guys. And I noticed that Guillermo del Toro, it's one of his favorite movies in recent
awesome.
memory. It's called The Wailing. I saw it in
can't wait to
theaters
watch
when it
that.
came out in LA because they have like these little theaters around here that show these. It's not indie movies, but they show peculiar movies that you wouldn't
Yeah.
normally see in a bigger theater
No,
like AMC.
mainstream things, yeah.
And The Wailing played, and I had seen it the day after I saw that fucking Get Mommy.
Oh,
or whatever
dude.
It's called.
Good night,
What?
Mommy.
Good Night,
Someone
Mommy.
here?
Good night, mommy.
German film.
Yeah.
Oh,
which,
with yeah,
which I wasn't as big of
yes,
a fan of.
yes.
I liked
Hmm.
it, but this was a while ago.
The trailer.
And
fucking-
The
Someone's
Wailing,
here,
I
I
noticed it came out
don't
on
wanna
Netflix,
stick
so
around
you
here
can
for
just
that
easily
one.
watch it. I swear to God, it's a South Korean horror film.
I love
and if you
Korean
liked The
films.
Host,
Oh yeah, I
you
love
will
those.
you will love this. I
Dude.
swear.
It's
I fell
like
asleep.
not
So
running
overwhelmed
to
with everything.
Thanos.
It's
Oh, boys,
me
so-
some.
So the only issue is it's 2 hours and 30 minutes,
That's fine.
I love long movies.
but it is entertaining the entire way through.
That's I
awesome.
think a good film. If you can like, that's the reason why I really love. Well, I love long movies, especially
too.
when they're like kind of like long epics and shit, like any Scorsese
If you can
film.
get into them.
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember Silence. Silence is like 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is unbelievable. But it was one of those films where you're in there and you're watching it, and for me at least, I was so invested in the story and the characters that it didn't feel like it was that long. You know, like the whole time you're just like experiencing it, and then all of a sudden it's over, and you're like, that was 3 hours.
Why did Silence get snubbed?
I think
They got snubbed.
I think that
Really?
Christian films in general, they get overlooked because, I mean, 99% of them are really like sappy little like whatever movies. But this, I wouldn't even consider it like a Christian film, even though it is. It's like a historic.
Passion of the
period.
Christ has really bad reviews.
It's
Yeah.
a great movie.
It is. A
What
great
was
movie.
the there was another film. It was a Mel Gibson
Seven
film. that came out,
Materials.
like-
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah, that was that. That
was
got
a
a
lot
lot
We
of
don't
buzz.
have
I mean, that was
that
also
much going for
pretty
me.
Christian movie.
Yeah, at first I couldn't
That's
get
what I mean.
into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
that's what shocked me about it. I
Hacksaw
was like,
Ridge was. It was one of those things where.
Well, there's something
because
in
the,
here.
the main character,
Ooh, I was right.
Yeah,
Declan
McKenna.
McKenna.
I love being right.
something, but the guy, like, he's a real person, obviously. Like, it incorporated his own faith and his own experiences in it while everything was going
Still
on. which I think was
saying,
really,
yeah.
like, valuable. Because I think that if
But
you're
I
talking
wanna
about
get,
religion
like,
and stuff,
better loot.
it's important to talk about someone's personal experience because it helps you understand, like, how that person perceives whatever spiritual thing that they're experiencing.
Just like Mother.
Versus just being like a general, like, this is a Christian film, you know,
Right.
and with no real, like, substance.
You wanna
I
hear-
got a lot of wood on me
You want
now.
to hear something that's really going to upset you?
Sure.
A lot of people are coming around to Mother and really liking
Oh,
it.
shit.
Wow.
I mean, look, the
that's
thing
what
is,
that's what happens. People hate it when it's in theaters and then it comes out in DVD.
I don't care. I'm fine with, like, I don't like the film because I feel like it was very blasphemous and it affected me, like, because it was, just,
I still
it was
haven't
so
seen it.
like so jarring.
Everyone thought of
Um,
that film's going to hell.
But and that's just my opinion. I didn't like it. But I don't care if other people do.
Well,
And
yeah,
Thanos is
there's, I
already
feel
dead.
like there's a difference
It's
between
kinda expected,
what Hacksaw Ridge does and what something like God's Not Dead
God.
does.
Yeah,
where it's
they're-
like you're just trying to tell a narrative of trying to basically convince the audience of something rather than telling a story.
Exactly. I think that if you're trying to have a spiritual aspect to a story, it has to be in the subtext
Yeah.
or in a very subtle thing that kind of is always there. Not like this is a Christian story. It's about a Christian, or it's about a man who was a drug addict or something. And he finds God, and then his life's.
The Wailing is a very Christian story.
Is it really?
It is.
That's
I think
interesting.
just people don't like when they feel like religion's being thrown on them.
Yeah.
Or pushed on them, or
anything.
like
It's- yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean.
I mean, I that's why, like,
It does make me a little uncomfortable watching a film. I mean, I'm okay with it, but like when I feel like it's almost trying to make you understand.
Thanos is
religion
going to
and
tilt
wanna be a
it
part of it, it's like
towers
you don't like
hard.
just make a
Yeah.
movie.
I think
Don't
you
try to
should
fucking
just make
convert
whatever
people.
movie
He's
you
on the
want.
verge of
Just
death,
like,
though.
If you're gonna make a movie that pushes that on you, fine. You know,
Yeah, I just
don't watch
enjoy
it.
it. When
I
when that
think
happens.
a movie is good because of the
Just regaining his
story,
shield.
not because
What the
of
fuck?
whatever message.
This is like a
Yes.
random ass
That's-
like
that's-
vending
that stuff's
machine
great,
out in
but
the
That's
open.
that's a background thing, and afterwards
Yeah.
you go, "Oh, that's so cool that it meant
Yeah.
that."
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest lessons in screenplays that I was reading online on self-help tips.
No, that's
is
true,
that
though.
you
It's-
if you have a bunch of messages.
Wait.
What's the use
I'll
of
just
that?
take
Good
that,
story.
exactly,
story,
because like
Yeah,
the
I'll take
message
that.
could be great, and if the story isn't
Yeah, I'll
in
take that, I'll
itself
take
something
that.
can stand alone
Thank you
without
very
the
much.
message, I don't think it's gonna sell. You have to like
Exactly.
exactly what you guys are saying. You have to the story has to be told, and you
see
think
me?
about it after, and you're like, oh wow.
Dennis,
Or,
I'm not
like,
ready.
As you're watching it, and maybe like the character has a big turning point, and that like connects the dots in the message.
Right.
You know, believe it or not, I was watching SpongeBob the other day, and
It's good shit.
every
it's really good shit.
episode truly has a lesson that it's teaching.
Yeah.
And especially towards kids, like lessons that you would teach a kid, like procrastination. With the procrastination,
Ooh,
it's
baby!
super funny, and they're
Give
like,
me that
"Oh, but,"
shit!
I was like, wow, I don't remember like these actually having like legit messages in
Yeah.
every episode.
Those are the best kid shows, like Gravity Falls or something.
watched that.
Oh,
I've never
dude.
seen
I've seen that a few times.
It's like when they're not talking down to the children who might be watching. When it's like something that is just kind of it pertains to real life in general. It's like that's the best kid show.
Okay, I
When
thought
you're
that
not-
was
when you're not
gonna
just,
be a
like,
person here.
harassing the kids with like loud colors and fast cuts and shit. Like when they're actually like interacting with the characters
Yeah.
in some way.
Truly.
Yeah.
I was oh, what's that?
I was gonna say back to what we're watching,
Mm-hmm.
but go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
I think it was another thing about.
Yes.
What it was. I was actually gonna ask you guys if you've seen Lost in Space on Netflix.
Not yet. No, I wanted to.
Oh, the series. No, I almost watched it last
Really?
night.
I heard it's better than the original, but still, it's like they have a AAA budget. It looks like it's that good of a show
That's awesome.
visually, but
That's
it just
shit.
doesn't.
That's
like,
what I think
It's filled with a
Altered-
lot of teenage drama.
Yeah, that's what I think Altered Carbon was. Like Altered
seen
Carbon,
that either.
visually, 100% A+. Oh
Dude,
my
I can't
God, it's
stand that guy.
beautiful. Joel
Oh
Kinnaman.
my god.
I think that
He's such a bad actor.
I just think that
Come
like, if you
on.
wanna analyze like what an actor's in their headspace. I think that he just thinks that he's like this action star type of thing, so he's not. They're adding really any depth. Like
because he gets typecasted.
Yeah, there were some moments in Altered Carbon where I think that he was good, and I think that he's.
Oh my god, I almost have him too.
But I know what you mean. He's a lot too much like, well, I guess it's up to me type of like an action star.
His delivery is just so strong.
There were a couple other.
I got him.
And the
Got him at
the
least.
story was like a C. It was just like, it was too complex of a story for I think the talent of the writers that wrote it, and also just like structuring it to make it all make sense with how because it's so
Where's
complex.
that coming
like, 3 episodes
from?
in, you're like, all right, there's a brand new universe. I've gotten so much like exposition. There's so much like so many.
think I
rules
hit
and
him.
That's how it was
that are,
with
like, tough.
Game of Thrones. Where I was like,
Oh my
because
god.
of it. But with Carbon and like the sci-fi techie stuff, like it shouldn't be as complex. You
You
know what I mean?
guys, holy shit. So I've been forced to watch Mindy Project every night.
How do you feel?
How's
How's it going?
It's really, I mean, you know what? There's some funny moments, but it was a trade-off. I watch Mindy Project. Alyssa. I make her watch the.
Like 2
Okay.
kills.
Anything, but it's like there. I feel like
Has
there's
Thanos.
this passivity about guys being attacked.
Well, I think it's more just along
Welcome
the lines
back
of
to the
just
stream. I
anybody.
keep on getting
It's
disconnected.
something that's done back then. There's no way anyone could do that now. And it's
I
just
think it
unbelievable.
depends on the story. I mean, if something's integral to the story and like it leads to something happening with the character, like if something like that happens, obviously that's like a comedy show, so it's one thing. They're making a joke of it, which is I think it's okay to make jokes. Of
That's the
that
thing.
to
They're
an
making a
extent.
joke of it.
Yeah, and I think that's
Yeah.
okay to an extent because you're bringing light to it, and we've talked about this. You know, comedy being able to like.
Well, no, they disregard it. It's like, it's just a comedy scene to them.
it's like the joke is that she's
The joke
forcing
is
him.
that she's forcing herself.
That's fucked up. It's like if you find something, reverse the roles, and if that's really.
Oh my
fucked up-
god, yeah. If that it was like it
Well,
was.
It's also. I mean, like that's
That's true.
That
But then-
shit's. There's a lot of that. Like I remember when I did.
Shameless?
Yeah, spoilers. But have I talked about the way that
I
ended?
don't think we ever talked about that scene. or
I've
that's-
seen it. I watched it with Sam and Joe.
Oh, thank you.
I just know for a fact if I
loves that
watched
show.
that in 2012, I would not think that there's any problem with it. You know.
It's I mean, we kind of open our heads to it a bit more. And I remember when I did that my final episode of Shameless. Spoilers, but the my character kind of gets written off by being raped by another character, a girl.
Because you're drugged or you're drunk.
I'm drunk, and she thinks that because I popped a boner that means I wanted it or something, and so there's that confusion.
Yeah, OBS
She
is like being a
she
real
gets-
dick
yeah,
right
so
now.
I-
In real life.
She's the girl who
I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
has a baby, right?
Eventually, yeah.
Because of you.
No, but we had talked about doing something with that because there was.
Oh, so you had a hand in writing it.
No, well,
But you plop
I
ideas
hung
over
out. I'm close with one of the casting directors, and we were kind of chatting, and she was like, "If you were to be invited back, what would you say yes?" And I said honestly no, because I feel like there's
Closure.
I don't know,
well,
it's the settings.
I had a big experience when the show aired where I felt like it was important of me to talk about how the show wasn't making this
I don't know if I
situation
should
in order
keep
to make
streaming
light
or
of men being raped or
Oh.
anyone being raped. So I just tweeted stuff like, "Hey, look, if you're struggling with this and this really hurt you, that there's a lot of jokes around it and stuff. Just know that this was supposed to elevate the idea of men being raped and bring light on something that people don't understand and don't acknowledge, and that guys feel afraid to talk
stream
about."
is still going.
And I had swarms, like hundreds of tweets of people just like. A lot of people messaged me and
Sure,
told
so
me for the
hot.
first time that they were attacked.
This
And
is-
it's like guys, there's
check the
almost a
AC
stigma.
real
'Cause
quick.
there's that misunderstanding of like, well, she thought that I wanted it because there was this biology, but like I was drunk or whatever, and it's like people laugh at guys for coming out about it, and
Yeah,
it's
it's like guys always want sex.
right, and it just feels like why would you want it for some guys, and it's like that's not how that works. If you were being forced upon, regardless of your gender, that's fucked up. And I was like shocked as shit to see. It was very touching. It was probably my favorite part of my career so far, is to like connect with all these people who had gone through all this stuff, and it was like they had been
Doesn't look like it's getting better anytime
Kind of
soon.
cracked the door a little bit and let some light in. And they
Yeah, I
were
mean, I
like,
think
"Hey, I'm here."
Play
a couple
quick
decades
game
from now,
real
we're all
quick.
gonna look back at everything that's happening, and it's really gonna there's
See
gonna be
how
a lot of
that
light on
pans
it.
out.
And we're all gonna
Yeah, I
realize
think,
like a lot of different
10,
things.
20 years from now, like everything going on is gonna like level out. I feel
For
it's
sure.
gonna reach a little bit of like an equilibrium with like
Mhm.
being able to talk about things. People
Pretty cool.
not
I was playing as
doing
Thanos for a
the
little
bad
while.
things that they're afraid to talk about. Like I think because like it goes from one extreme to the other, and then it kind of levels out.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say, speaking of like opening up a dialogue, that's exactly what this Uber driver I had was saying. He was talking about how he was, and he's African American. He was not glad, but I mean, he didn't think it was the worst thing that Trump was elected, because it creates a conversation that needed to be had that couldn't have been without him
True.
being elected. So
True.
there's like a silver lining to everything, I guess.
See if
Well,
we
it's
can get to
also,
that bridge
it's
right
also
there.
bringing out people who were formerly not interested in politics, and now
Yeah.
people are getting interested. You know, for better or worse. That's
Yeah.
I used to barely give a shit. But
I-
it's
same.
so eccentric now, with him being in office, that it's like.
Why did they
have,
fuck me
You're
over?
gonna see it and you're gonna have an opinion because
Right.
it's so
It
insane
makes you
now.
like
All these things.
like his actions will make
There we
you
go.
look into something and be like, is that actually the right thing?
Right.
And it's funny because like me politically, like I've been all over the place with politics and what I've thought, and I'm most happy with where I'm at now because I'm like, I'm very much so like I've definitely taken a step back from being in because I consider myself liberal, conservative, every single different thing at different points in time, just where I was at, people I was with, and stuff like
a
that.
little bit.
But like now I think I'm very like comfortably in the middle where I'll just look at things from a little bit more of an unbiased standpoint and try to like be like what really is right.
Well, the trick
about
is
these
not to get
things.
all your information from Twitter, you know, or
And-
you're
and
supposed to get
any one source.
You get
yeah.
something from the far left, you get something from the far right. Read a moderate source too, and then you got
And even if
multiple
something's like
sources.
very socially accepted, that doesn't make it right necessarily. Like
Mhm.
I think it's important that you come up with every opinion your
Yeah.
own, and it's a hard thing to do.
Well, it's like find your truth and then understand, like really understand
Nice.
why you feel a certain way about
Yeah.
something. 'Cause I hate people who are just they feel informed because they've
nice.
seen a lot of people around them feel a
At least
certain
I
way
got
about a
this
thing,
bush.
or like they've read a lot of articles and they're just afraid to
The article they read made sense to them, so then now that's their opinion.
Yeah, people, and this is a big problem on YouTube a lot too, because like people will hear a YouTuber or somebody say an opinion that is well worded, but isn't there. But because it's the strongest way they've heard this
Yes, I got
argument
this
said,
guy.
they're like, "That's my opinion." I feel like this happens a lot with. Honestly, not to put him on blast, but I feel like Ethan from H3 has a habit of wording stuff that brings people
Yeah.
to aggression about
It's like a much younger audience.
right. And so I tweet about stuff. I don't know. I can't remember what happened. It was during the Oscars. I had said
What
something
is
about.
it? Kind of in the middle.
I made a joke about how a woman couldn't win a man's
Yeah, I remember that.
category or something. That was basically
like,
the point of the joke.
Oh, it's 2018 and a woman hasn't won Best Actor yet.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
That's what it
and
was.
I didn't
Which
even
is-
know you were joking at first when I first read that.
Well, that was a lot of people.
I
Jamie, I was
did
like-
because maybe it's because I know you that I know that like obviously you have
I know that you're not stupid.
right,
you know?
but I also know that like obviously you are for like women's equality
Yeah,
and all of
that's
that
why I
was
but,
unsure.
but also
Yeah.
like
I don't know why I
you're
wasn't
a
hidden
funny
for a
guy,
Yeah,
second.
you're one of the
like a dry
cuckiest
sense of-
people I know.
True.
dry sense of humor, but I know that you also like aren't afraid to joke like that, in something
Well,
that
Oh shit, I
was
got it.
surprised because I read a lot of the replies and I'm
I
sorry
gotta
to
go.
cut you off,
No,
but, like,
go for it.
I was kind of like, are these people
The one
being
time
real with
the
him, or are they
fucking
serious?
vending
It's hard to
machine
tell,
is
right?
here.
Yeah, it was hard to tell, and
The
I was
one's,
like,
like, near
I
the
immediately saw it, and I was
fucking
like,
edge.
I was like, good one, dude.
Yeah,
It's clearly that's a joke.
well,
Exit.
Somebody
Unfollow.
somebody
Oh
brought-
wow.
somebody brought to my attention. They were like, there is something to be said about transgender people.
Hope you die.
Actually, there is no category for them or whatever. And so, I went from kind of mocking one side of the political spectrum to going to the other, and I was just kind of like, hey,
Oh yeah, what would they win?
I was like, I didn't mean to upset anybody by this. I understand that this was kind of a limited perspective and it was kind of short-sighted. And the amount of people who were just quoting Ethan in response to me kind of apologizing for potentially offending people, it was like everybody was saying the same shit. It was like, dude, find your own opinion. Like, if you don't like,
I still
I'm
know
not,
if
I'm not being
it's-
professionally offended. I am
should
just acknowledging that
keep
other
the
people
stream
exist.
going.
And
Yeah.
if that should be fine. We should
You're not
be
like making a PR statement where you're like,
No.
I just wanted the world to know that
Oh,
my
gosh.
stance right now is apologetic.
Well, it's like
You know?
I
think
I
I'm just
think
gonna
people
try
are
to,
so quick to see the word
refresh the-
feminist or like whatever, and they're like, you're just in the culture,
Refresh
cult
the
of outrage, and
OBS.
it's, there is that.
If not, I'll
but
refresh the
that is no
computer.
better than looking at somebody who is from the
going
south
short
and just saying
break.
they're like.